And now to our continuing coverage of the nuclear standoff with Iran. Tough economic sanctions on the country. Sanctions that the U.S. says are having a significant impact are hurting. But Tehran does not seem to be bowing to the pressure. I spoke to Saeed Shamseddin Husseini, Iran's economic affairs and finance minister, and asked him about the effect the sanctions are having on Iran.
I believe that the sanctions, the assessment of the effect of the sanctions on the Iranian economy are exaggerated.
Now, there was a recent report in the Financial Times. I was quoting a taxi driver in Tehran, and he said going to the meat store now is like going to the jewelry store, that his income has dropped in half because of the drop in Iran's currency, because of the sanctions. And as you know, there are a lot of reports about shortages of meat and fruit and prices surging. What makes you so confident?
When these sanctions took place, we were providing for 60% of the overall government budget needs through oil exports, oil-related revenue. We are moving away from a reliance on the petrodollar revenues. I gave you an example of the budget, but I will give you an example about foreign trade. Last year, our imports decreased by about 14%. But in our import forecast, we were able to leave room for the basic needs when it comes to medical equipment, pharmaceutical drugs, and other basic high priority needs. So there was a total reform. For example, we no longer see a need to import furniture from the outside. We have indigenous industries taking the place of those imports. But it's interesting that our oil exports have decreased, but we've seen an increase overall of 20% in the agricultural sector export and industrial sector exports. Today, after implementation of the targeted sanctions program, any Iranian citizen, every member of a household of Iran who requests such assistance receives that cash assistance, which goes towards satisfying, at the very least, the foodstuff and the food expenditure needs of the lower classes and the lower middle classes.
The United States, our Secretary of Defense, as you know, was in Tel Aviv earlier this week to announce a big agreement to sell Israel more weapons, more American weapons. Advanced missiles, refueling planes were on the list of weapons. Obviously, some are saying these could be used in a possible strike against Iran. The defense minister in Israel said, I'll quote him, "The bottom line is that Iran's nuclear weapons ambitions will be stopped." Do you think, are you preparing for a strike on Iran, or do you think that Israel is talking, what we would say, talking a big game, but not actually going to do anything?
No, I don't believe such a thing will occur. I firmly believe that they're bluffing. The worldwide climate and atmosphere, politically and socially speaking, is not ready for such an unprovoked attack and aggression. And they do fully realize that if they take such a step, the very existence of the Zionist regime will be endangered.
Have a great weekend. AC 360 starts right now.